Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to take that stack of info you've gathered, maybe it's articles, travel blogs, notes, and basically give you the shortcut, the knowledge you need to make the right decision.
And today, we're setting our sights on the Bahamas. It's a big one. Everyone sort of knows it from the movies, those huge resort ads. But understanding the logistics
Hmm.
and the fact that it has these two totally different personalities, that's where it gets tricky.
Okay, yeah, let's get into that because it's not just, another island in the Caribbean. It's like the heavyweight champion. The name alone brings up turquoise water, maybe James Bond, definitely Atlantis. It's got this huge place in our collective imagination.
Right. But the key thing, and this is the real challenge for you as a traveler, is just the sheer scale of it.
Yeah.
People think Nassau, maybe Paradise Island next door, but the Bahamas, it's massive. An archipelago, over 700 islands and cays scattered across like hundreds of miles of ocean.
700, wow, okay.
Yeah, and that sprawl is what makes it unique, but it also makes planning a trip, well, it can be incredibly overwhelming. And critically, it drives up the cost. It can be seriously expensive.
Exactly. Which brings us right to the point of this deep dive. The Bahamas looks amazing, no doubt, but it costs a lot. And the choices are kind of mind-boggling. Do you go for the big, flashy resorts with all the convenience, or do you head out to the quieter, maybe more authentic out islands?
So our goal today is to break all that down, the sprawling options, the logistical hurdles you have to overcome. We want to help you figure out how to do the Bahamas right for you and ultimately decide if that big price tag is actually worth it.
Okay. And we've boiled down the key places from your sources.
Yeah.
We'll cover Nassau and Paradise Island, obviously the busy hubs, but also the Exuma Cays, which look stunning.
Oh, breathtaking. And Eleuthera, Harbor Island, too, they have this completely different vibe, sort of understated luxury.
Got it. So the plan for today, first, logistics. How do you actually get between these 700 islands? Because just flying into Nassau isn't the whole story.
Not even close.
Then we'll tackle what you call the Great Bahamian Divide, the big resorts versus the out-island experience. Food comes next. Gotta talk about conch.
Oh, absolutely. And sky juice, beyond the buffet stuff.
Definitely. And finally, activities. Swimming pigs, shipwrecks, history, the works. So let's dive in. First hurdle, just getting there and getting around, the accessibility trap, you called it.
Yeah, because getting to the Bahamas initially seems almost suspiciously easy. The main airport, Lyndon Pindley International, that's S in Nassau, it's incredibly well connected, especially from North America. The U.S. East Coast particularly,
How quick are we talking?
like an hour from Miami,
Yeah.
maybe 2.5 hours from New York,
Yeah.
something like that. Super short flights. So that accessibility is a huge part of the appeal.
Okay, but that easy access is kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it? That's what leads to the crowds, especially in Nassau.
Exactly. Nassau is one of the busiest cruise ports anywhere. I mean, the infrastructure there is built to handle just enormous waves of people coming in daily.
Right, I read you can have like 4 or 5 of those giant cruise ships docked at the same time.
Easily. And think about it. Each ship holds thousands of people. So you can have, 10, 15, even 20,000 extra people pouring into downtown Nassau all at once.
Whoa, okay, so downtown gets completely packed.
It gets saturated, yeah,
But
almost instantly.
And that really changes the experience, right? If you're on a cruise, you've got maybe, 8 hours on shore, trying to see something with thousands of other people doing the exact same thing.
Precisely. Flying in gives you freedom, flexibility. You can immerse yourself. Arriving by cruise, well, it drastically limits your scope. You're usually stuck in that busiest, most commercial square mile of the entire country, racing the clock.
Okay, so flying in is better for freedom, but then comes the real challenge, getting between the islands. Inter-island travel.
This is where things get complicated and expensive. This is the first big reality check. You see those amazing photos, pink sand beaches, the swimming pigs in the Exumas, and you naturally assume, oh, that's probably just a quick taxi ride or a short boat trip from my Nassau resort.
Yeah, you'd think so.
But nope, emphatically not. To get to the places that really feel like the soul of the Bahamas, you also have to travel significant distances across the ocean. It's a whole separate journey.
Right. So how do you do it? What are the options if you want to see more than just Nassau?
Well, there are basically two main ways, and both need planning and serious budget consideration. First up, small planes.
Okay, like charter flights.
Yeah, you've got Bahamas Air, which is the national airline, and then a bunch of smaller charter outfits. And we're not talking about big jets here. Often it's these little propeller planes, maybe 15 seats, sometimes even smaller.
15 seats, so you can probably see the pilot.
Oh, totally. You often walk right out on the tarmac, climb aboard, and yeah, you can see everything they're doing up front. The views are incredible, seeing all the shades of blue in the water. But it's a different kind of flying experience.
And I heard maybe not the most reliable, schedule-wise.
Oh, island time definitely applies here. Bahamas Air, yeah, it has a bit of a reputation for delays sometimes, and those small planes, they might wait until they're full. Or a sudden squall pops up, grounds everything for a few hours. You definitely can't plan super tight connections.
So you need buffer time.
Absolutely. Budget, like an extra half day, just in case whenever you're flying between islands, it's just part of the deal.
And the cost, you mentioned budget.
Yeah, this is often the sticker shock moment. People are already paying a lot for their hotel, maybe. Then they find out that a round-trip flight from Nassau to, say, Georgetown in the Exumas or Marsh Harbor in the Abacos, it can easily be hundreds of dollars per person.
Hundreds per
Yeah.
person. Wow. So a family of 4 is looking at, what, over $1,000 just to hop to another island?
Easily. Sometimes more. So you absolutely have to budget for this separately. It's not optional if you want to see those places. It's a splurge, but a necessary one.
Okay, but hang on. If the flights are that pricey and maybe a bit unreliable, wouldn't taking a ferry make more sense? Even if it's slower. Save some money, maybe some stress.
That's a totally valid point.
Yeah.
And it brings us to option 2, ferries. Now, you've got the really traditional mailboat.
The mailboat, what's that like?
It's authentic.
Yeah.
Very authentic. It's what locals use to move goods and people between the islands. It's slow. It's definitely not luxurious, but you get a real slice of Bahamian life. It's a cultural experience for sure, but you need a lot of time.
Okay, maybe not for everyone's vacation schedule. What else?
Then you have Bahamas ferries. That's more geared towards, well, slightly faster, more comfortable travel connecting the main hubs, like Nassau to Harbor Island or Eleuthera.
So that's a better option for tourists?
It's often a good middle ground, yeah.
Yeah.
If you have the time, and again, we're talking maybe a full day for transit round trip. In some cases, it can be a great way to see the islands at a slower pace. But island time strikes again.
How so?
Schedules can be limited.
Yeah.
Maybe only a few sailings a week to certain spots.
Mhm.
So you literally have to build your entire itinerary around when the ferry runs. There's less flexibility than you might think.
Okay, so planes are fast but pricey and potentially delayed. Ferries are cheaper, more scenic maybe, but slow and run on limited schedules.
That's the gist of it. Getting around takes effort, planning, and money.
And then, once you actually get to one of these out islands, how do you get around there? Still taxis.
In Nassau, yeah, taxis are everywhere. But the fares can add up. They're often fixed and not cheap, especially airport runs or trips to the big resorts.
But out on, say, Harbor Island or Staniel Cay in the Exumas.
That's different. The main way, honestly, pretty much the only way people get around is by renting a golf cart.
A golf cart. Okay, that sounds kind of fun.
It is. It's breezy, gives you total freedom to explore the little lanes and find hidden beaches. It's really part of the out-island charm. But, again, it's another daily cost to factor in.
Right. And anything tricky about driving a golf cart there?
Just one crucial thing people forget. They drive on the left in the Bahamas.
Oh, right. Good tip. Especially in a golf cart on a narrow road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't want your first lesson in driving on the left to be dodging potholes on Harbor Island.
Okay, so wrapping up logistics. Basically, if you want to see the real Bahamas beyond the main Nassau hub, you need flexibility, patience, and a dedicated travel budget for planes or ferries.
Yeah.
Just staying put in Nassau means missing a huge part of the picture.
Absolutely. It's convenient, but it's just one small, often crowded piece of this massive, amazing puzzle.
And that difficulty, that choice about whether to move around or stay put, leads directly into the next big topic,
Yeah.
where you actually stay. The Great Bahamian Divide, you called it.
Yeah, because this decision, mega resort or out island escape it fundamentally shapes everything.
Yeah.
Your budget, your pace, the whole feel of your trip.
So let's start with the giants, the mega resort titans of Nassau and Paradise Island. You have to begin with Atlantis, right? It's iconic.
You really do. Atlantis isn't just a hotel. It's like a self-contained kingdom, a sprawling, aquatic theme park. The whole aesthetic is, mythical lost city kind of vibe. Huge towers, underwater tunnel grottos.
Yeah.
It's all built around this massive water park, Aquaventure.
And it has more than just water slides.
Oh, yeah. There's a huge casino, a really impressive aquarium that does a lot of marine conservation work, and something like 40 different places to eat, from casual spots to super high-end celebrity chef restaurants.
40 restaurants, okay.
It's designed to be its own universe. High energy, nonstop entertainment, aimed squarely at families, people who want everything right there.
And then there's the main rival, Bahamar, right? Newer, over on Cable Beach.
Yep, Bahamar. It has a totally different feel. It's very chic, very modern, contemporary design. Some people call it like Vegas in the Caribbean, lots of modern art, high fashion shops. It's actually 3 hotels rolled into one complex, Grand Hyatt SLS Rosewood, so they can cater to different crowds from families to high rollers to couples.
So both Atlantis and Bahamar are these massive, all-encompassing resorts offering endless stuff to do.
Exactly. Incredible places. Really feats of engineering and hospitality. If you want convenience, glamour, everything taken care of 247, they deliver that flawlessly. Perfect for certain kinds of trips.
But there's always a but, isn't there? What's the trade-off? The resort bubble.
That's the term, yeah.
Hmm.
The convenience is undeniable, but the cost of living inside that bubble is significant.
Yeah.
It's not just the room rate, which is already high. You've got hefty daily resort fees, often mandatory gratuities added onto everything.
And the prices inside.
Everything is marked up hugely. It's not just an $8 bottle of water anymore, though that's probably still true. It's more like a simple lunch by the pool for your family hitting $150 easy, or paying $15 just to park your car if you even rented one.
Wow, so you could spend a week there and barely leave the property.
That's the risk. You might never feel like you've actually been to the Bahamas. You're in this amazing self-contained world, but it could almost be anywhere. The service is great, very professional, but it's transactional. You're paying for that seamless efficiency.
Okay. So if that resort bubble sounds maybe a bit too contained or too expensive, what's the alternative? How do you find that soul of the country you mentioned?
You have to venture out, head to the out islands, and the experience is dramatically different.
Like where? Give us an example.
Okay, take Eleuthera. It's this long, skinny island, known for being really laid back, almost like stepping back in time a bit. It has these absolutely stunning beaches, like Lighthouse Beach, that are often completely empty. The whole pace of life just slows right down. You feel like you can actually disconnect.
And what's accommodation like there? No giant towers, I assume.
Definitely not. You're looking more at boutique hotels, some really lovely ones like the Cove, or more commonly renting private beachfront cottages or villas, places you find on Airbnb or local rental sites. It's much more about self-sufficiency. You might be cooking some meals yourself, relying on a couple of great local restaurants.
Okay. And what about Harbor Island? That's near Eleuthera, right? Famous for pink sand.
Just a short water taxi right away, yeah. Harbor Island is world famous for Pink Sands Beach, which really is pink. It's often described as having this quiet, luxury vibe, very preppy, lots of charming pastel-painted clapboard houses. It feels very established, almost like little New England island dropped in the tropics.
And you get around by golf cart there, too.
Exclusively. That's your car. You trundle around your golf cart to the beach, to the little restaurants. It's a totally different world from the bustle of Nassau.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, everything.
And the Exumas, you mentioned them for the pigs, but what's the vibe for staying there?
The Exumas are really a boater's paradise. That's where you see those 50 shades of blue water everyone talks about. Staying there is all about water access. You might rent a bigger villa on Great Exuma, the main island, or maybe a smaller cottage on one of the little cays like Saniel Cay. Privacy, getting out on the water, fishing, that's the folks.
That's amazing. But there has to be a trade-off for the out islands, too, right? It can't all be empty beaches and quiet luxury.
No, absolutely not. We have to be realistic. The beauty is raw, it's untouched, the privacy is incredible, but the amenities, they're limited. Simple logistics, really. Instead of 40 restaurants, you might have 1, maybe 2, really great local places on your cay.
Okay, what else?
And the whole travel experience requires a different mindset. It is more rugged. Your Wi-Fi might be slow or spotty. Power outages, they happen. Not like a disaster, but just a part of life sometimes. The little grocery store might run out of your favorite snack. Healthcare is much more limited.
So you need to be more self-reliant and patient.
Definitely. Patience is key. You have to accept that the island runs on its own schedule, not necessarily yours. Things might take longer. You need a certain level of go-with-the-flow attitude.
So summing up the accommodation choice, it really defines the trip. Mega resorts mean nonstop, easy, often glamorous entertainment, high convenience, high cost. Outlands means quiet, stunning beauty, more connection to nature and local life, but also more logistical challenges and fewer amenities.
That's the fundamental choice, yeah. You have to know what you're signing up for.
All right, let's shift gears to something hopefully everyone enjoys, food. What's the real taste of the Bahamas beyond the hotel buffet? We mentioned conch.
A conch, yes. C-O-N-C-H, it's the undisputed king. It's a large sea snail, a marine mollusk.
Sea snail. Doesn't sound immediately appealing, gotta be honest.
I know, I know. It sounds weird if you haven't had it, but trust me, it is delicious. And you really haven't experienced Bahamian food until you've tried it, especially in its three essential forms.
Before the forms, why is it such a big deal there? Is it easy to get?
Actually, no. It's hard work to harvest them, and even harder to prepare correctly. The key is tenderizing the meat. If it's not done right, it's like chewing rubber bands. So the skill involved in pounding the conch perfectly tender is a real point of local pride. That effort makes it central to the cuisine.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What are the three essential forms?
First, the easiest entry point, conch fritters. Think savory, slightly spicy donuts or hush puppies, but filled with finely chopped conch, onions, peppers. They come out piping hot, you squeeze lime over them. Perfect with a cold Gaelic beer.
Kalik, that's the local beer.
Yep, the main local lager. Crisp, goes perfectly with fried food. Fritters are addictive, the perfect snack.
Okay, sounds good. What's next?
Second, cracked conch. This is basically the Bahamian version of calamari, but much meatier. They take the tenderized conch steak, batter it lightly, maybe with some spices, and deep fry it till it's golden brown. Crispy outside, tender inside. Usually served as a main dish with sides.
Like calamari steak, almost.
Kinda, yeah. Really satisfying.
And the third form, you said it was the ultimate test.
Fresh conch salad. This is where the magic really happens. It's the purest form. They take raw conch, chop it finely with onion, tomato, sweet peppers, and then they cook it right there by marinating it in a mix of acidic juices, lots of lime, maybe lemon, orange juice.
Oh, like a ceviche?
Exactly like ceviche.
Yeah.
Often they'll add a kick of local hot pepper, goat pepper usually. And the best part, at the really good spots, especially roadside stands or docks, they'll pull the conch out of the shell, chop it all up, and mix the salad fresh right in front of you.
Wow. Dinner and a show.
Totally. It guarantees the freshest flavor, the most tender texture. It's vibrant, healthy, and incredibly delicious. A must-try.
Okay, I'm sold on conch. Where's the best place to find all this, especially if you're staying in Nassau?
You absolutely have to go to Arawak. Everyone just calls it the fish fry. It's this collection of colorful shacks, little restaurants, bars, all clustered together right on the water near downtown Nassau.
The fish fry. Got it.
Yeah, it's lively, music's playing, locals and tourists mix. You sit on a plastic chair, drink a Gaelic, and eat amazing, authentic Bahamian food. Conch fritters, grilled fish, conch salad.
Yeah.
It's the real deal, a must-do experience.
Perfect. What else should we look out for, food-wise, beyond conch?
Definitely look for rock lobster, or sometimes called crawfish. It's the local spiny lobster, usually grilled simply with butter, maybe some garlic and paprika. Delicious.
And sides.
The classic side dish you get with almost everything is peas and rice. It's not just plain rice. It's cooked with pigeon peas, often some tomato paste, thyme, maybe bits of salt pork or bacon for flavor. Really hearty and good.
Okay. Peas and rice.
And you have to try Johnny cake. It sounds like dessert, but it's not really a cake. It's more like a dense, slightly sweet bread, almost like a cornbread, but made with flour, baked or sometimes fried. Perfect for soaking up sauce.
Johnny cake. Interesting. And drinks. Besides colic, you mentioned. Sky juice.
Ah, sky juice. The legend. Okay, prepare yourself. It's gin, fresh coconut water, and sweetened condensed milk.
Gin. Coconut water. And condensed milk. Seriously. That sounds bizarre. Is it actually good?
Uh-huh. It sounds crazy, I know. But according to the sources, it's surprisingly refreshing. One called it dangerously delightful. The sweetness from the milk and coconut apparently hides the gin really well.
Dangerously delightful. I like that.
Yeah, so it goes down easy, but it's potent. You got to treat it with respect. Definitely an only in the Bahamas kind of drink.
Okay, so the big food takeaway. Get out of the resort. Find the fish fry, find the roadside stands, the local spots. That's where the real flavor is.
Absolutely. And honestly, it's usually half the price or even less than eating the same thing inside the resort walls. Better food, better value, better experience.
Makes total sense. All right, let's move on to activities. What do you do in the Bahamas besides lying on a beach? Though that sounds pretty good too.
Lying on the beach is definitely a top activity. But yeah, there's a lot more. We have to start with probably the most famous, most Instagrammed Bahamian experience of the last decade.
Let me guess. The swimming pigs.
You got it. The swimming pigs of the Exumas, out on Big Major K. It's genuinely surreal. You pull up in your boat, and these pigs, big ones, little ones, they just swim out into the ocean to greet you.
Why? What are they doing?
They're expecting food. They've learned that boats mean snacks from tourists. It's bizarre. It's hilarious. You get these incredible photos. It's one of those I can't believe this is real moments.
Okay, that sounds pretty unique. But you mentioned the Exumas. That's not near Nassau, right? So it's probably not a cheap day trip.
Exactly. That's the catch, the price of fame. Because it's quite far from Nassau, getting there is a whole excursion. It usually means either one of those expensive little inter-island flights we talked about, or a long, high-speed boat trip. Either way, you're looking at hundreds of dollars per person, typically.
Wow, so it's a big splurge activity.
It is. Usually it's bundled into a full-day Exuma Cays tour, so you don't just see the pigs. You'll often also stop at Compass Cay to swim with nurse sharks.
Swim with sharks.
Yeah. Nurse sharks, though, they're pretty docile, kind of like big catfish, very used to people. You can snorkel right alongside them. And then maybe visit another island to see the native Bahamian rock iguanas. So it's like a wildlife trifecta. A really memorable day, but yeah, it costs.
Okay, good to know. Pigs, sharks, iguanas. What else? The water itself must be a huge draw.
Oh, the water's the main attraction. The diving and snorkeling are just world-class. The clarity is often incredible, like 100-foot visibility or more.
And specific spots.
Well, you've got the Andros Barrier Reef. It's the third largest barrier reef system in the world. Absolute massive, stretching for miles off Andros Island, teeming with coral, fish, all kinds of marine life.
Third largest, wow.
And then for something really unique and maybe a bit mysterious, there's Dean's Blue Hole out on Long Island.
A blue hole? What exactly is that?
It's basically a giant underwater sinkhole or vertical cave. Dean's Blue Hole is one of the deepest known ones, plunging down over 660 feet right near the shore. It's this stunning, deep indigo circle in the turquoise shallows. Amazing for freediving or just to look at. Kind of awe-inspiring and a bit eerie.
660 feet straight down. Okay, that's deep.
Very deep. And then there's history underwater, too. Especially around Nassau, the waters are littered with shipwreck.
Real pirate shipwrecks.
Some old ones, yeah, but also some more modern ones that were sunk deliberately for James Bond movies.
No way. Which ones?
Like Thunderball and Never Say Never Again. They sunk ships and replica plane wrecks for filming. So now you can dive or snorkel on these actual movie sets underwater. How cool is that?
That is incredibly cool. Okay, Bond fan bucket list item. What about history on dry land? Anything notable in Nassau?
Definitely. Nassau has a rich and sometimes difficult history. You used to see the Queen's Staircase. It's this flight of 66 steps carved straight out of solid limestone rock.
Why? Who carved them?
They were carved by enslaved people back in the late 18th century. It was meant as an escape route from the nearby fort. It's a really powerful, sobering place, a direct link to that painful part of the island's past.
Okay, important to see. And pirates. I always associate Nassau with pirates.
You should. For a brief, chaotic period in the early 1700s, Nassau was basically the capital of the Republic of Pirates. Blackbeard, Calico Jack Rackham, and Bonnie, they all operated out of Nassau.
Ah.
It was a notorious pirate haven.
So is there anything left from that era?
There's a museum called Pirates of Nassau, and sources say it's actually really well done. Interactive, fun for all ages, gives you a good sense of that swashbuckling, rough-and-tumble time in the island's history.
Cool.
Yeah.
Pirates, Bond, deep history. But ultimately, for a lot of people, it comes back to the beaches, right? You mentioned Pink Sands Beach.
Yes, Pink Sands on Harbor Island.
Yeah.
It's probably the most famous beach, besides maybe Cabbage Beach on Paradise Island, which is beautiful but can get crowded. Pink Sands lives up to the hype.
Is the sand really pink?
It genuinely has this soft, rosy blush. It comes from tiny crushed shells of microscopic marine organisms called foraminifera, which have reddish-pink shells. When the light hits it right, especially sunrise or sunset, the whole beach just glows this beautiful, soft pink.
Wow. That sounds incredible.
It really is. Just sitting there watching the colors change, it perfectly captures that quiet, stunning beauty you find in the islands. Definitely worth seeing.
Okay, so lots to do. Now, maybe just as important, what should people potentially skip? To save time, money, or maybe just avoid disappointment? Critical advice time.
Right. Good question. Number one on my list, based on the sources, maybe reconsider the famous Nassau straw market.
Oh, it sounds like a classic tourist spot.
It is historic, and it used to be the place for authentic crafts. But today, the report suggests it's become a very high-pressure environment. Aggressive vendors, intense haggling, and, frankly, a lot of stalls selling the same mass-produced souvenirs you could find anywhere. It can be kind of overwhelming and maybe not the authentic experience you're hoping for.
So skip the straw market. Where should you go for souvenirs then?
The recommendation is to wander the side streets in downtown Nassau, away from the main cruise ship crush. Look for smaller art galleries, little boutiques. That's where you're more likely to find genuinely local crafts, paintings, jewelry, and have a much more relaxed shopping experience.
Okay, good tip. What else to potentially avoid?
Be really careful and do your research about animal encounters, especially things like swim with dolphins programs. There are, unfortunately, many places with questionable practices regarding animal welfare.
Right. So how do you know which ones are okay?
Look for smaller, locally run operations or places specifically certified as ethical sanctuaries. It requires homework beforehand. Don't just book the first brochure you see. Responsible tourism is key here.
Makes sense. Anything else to skip?
My biggest one, especially for people on shorter trips, is skip the overscheduling. Avoid those crazy 5-in-1 tours. You know, the ones 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, rush back to the bus.
Yeah, trying to cram everything in.
Exactly. It just leads to exhaustion and
Yeah.
disappointment. You see everything through a bus window, you get a few blurry photos, but you don't experience anything fully. You haven't really connected with the place.
So what's the alternative if you only have a day or two?
Pick one thing and really enjoy it. Want a beach day? Great. Take a taxi to a nice public beach, or maybe buy a day pass to one of the resorts and just spend the whole day relaxing, swimming, soaking it in. Want history? Dedicate your day to exploring downtown Nassau, the forts, the Queen's Staircase, the Pirate Museum. Go deep, not wide.
Quality over quantity.
Precisely. You'll have a much richer, more memorable experience.
Okay, that's really useful advice. So, we've covered getting around, where to stay, what to eat, what to do, what to skip. Let's try and pull it all together now. What's the overall feeling, the core identity of the Bahamas after digging into all this? You mentioned two personalities.
Yeah, I think that's the key takeaway. The
Mhm.
Bahamas really operates with these two distinct personalities, and the experience you have depends entirely on which one you choose.
Personality number one.
Personality one is Vegas by the sea. That's Nassau and Paradise Island. High energy, lots of glitz and glamour, incredibly convenient, everything runs smoothly, but it comes at a high cost. It's a very well-run tourism machine. The service is excellent, professional, efficient, but very transactional. It delivers exactly what it promises. Seamless, high-end, resort-style entertainment.
Okay. And personality number two.
Personality two is island time. That's the out islands, Eleuthera, the Exumas, Harbor Island, places like that. It's slow. It can be rugged. It requires more self-sufficiency from you. The whole pace is different. It's governed by, the ferry schedule, the weather, when the supply boat comes in.
So, things might not always run perfectly on schedule.
Not always, no. The little shop might close for 2 hours in the middle of the day because the owner went fishing. The ferry might be half an hour late, and nobody's really stressed about it. And as a visitor, you kind of have to embrace that. Roll with it.
And that affects the interactions with people, too.
Big time. In the out islands, the interactions often feel more genuine, less rushed. People have time to chat. You might have a real conversation with the lady running the bakery or the guy renting you the golf cart. There's a warmth there that's less about service industry efficiency and more about just human connection.
And the natural beauty reflects that difference, too.
Totally. In Nassau, the beautiful beach probably has a resort right behind it, maybe jet skis buzzing by. In Eleuthera, that equally beautiful beach might be completely empty. Just you, the sand, the sea, the wind. It's raw, untouched nature.
So it really is a choice you make before you even book the flight. Do you want the polished, engineered perfection or the sometimes messy but maybe more profound, quiet beauty and connection?
That's exactly it. You have to decide what kind of experience you're looking for.
Okay, here we are then, the final verdict. We've laid out the costs, the logistics, the two personalities, the amazing experiences, the potential pitfalls. Big question. Is the Bahamas worth it? Worth the money, the time, the planning?
It's a nuanced answer, isn't it? But I'm going to give a conditional yes, a resounding yes. It's worth OT, but only if you, the traveler, do your homework first. You have to make a conscious, informed choice about which Bahamian personality you're seeking and be realistic about the costs and the logistical effort involved.
And we really need to hammer this home. It is not a cheap destination.
Absolutely not. If you go expecting a bargain Caribbean getaway, you'll be sorely disappointed. Even outside the mega resorts, costs for flights, ferries, food, even groceries are high. It's an expensive country to operate in and visit, largely due to import costs and the challenges of inter-island transport.
But if you manage your expectations...
Correct. If your expectations are aligned with reality, then yes, it's worth it. If you choose Atlantis because you want that incredible, easy, family-friendly water park kingdom and you understand the cost, it delivers spectacularly on that promise.
Yeah.
Worth it.
And the flip side.
If you choose Eleuthera, because you want quiet, empty beaches, a slower pace, a more authentic connection, and you're prepared for the slightly more rugged travel and limited amenities.
Hmm.
That experience can be profoundly beautiful and restorative. Totally worth the investment for a different reason. It could be genuinely life-changing.
So when is it not worth it?
It's not worth it if there's a major mismatch in expectations. If you go to a sleepy out island expecting buzzing nightlife, you'll be bored stiff. If you go to Nassau, stay walled up in your luxury resort, eat only hotel food, and never venture out to the fish fry or see the Queen's Staircase, well, you could have done that anywhere. You spent a lot of money and missed the actual soul of the country. That's when it's not worth it.
Okay, so worth it, but do your homework, manage expectations, and be patient.
That's the formula.
Which leads us nicely to our final provocative thought for you, the listener, to chew on. Given this stark contrast we've discussed, the Vegas by the sea bubble versus the rugged island time reality, maybe think beyond just where you spend your money. Think about what kind of relationship you actually want to have with the place and its culture.
Interesting point. Are you looking for a quick, efficient, maybe glamorous transaction, something based on the smooth machinery of international tourism? Or are you willing to slow down, to accept the occasional delay, the potential inconvenience, in order to forge a more genuine, maybe slower connection with the local rhythm?
Because maybe the true deep dive into the Bahamas isn't just about seeing the sights. Maybe it requires embracing that slower pace, that patience, accepting that a 30-minute delay isn't a disaster, it's just part of the island's authentic charm. Something to think about.